So here in the U.S., we seem to have, I'm sure it's more than just the U.S., right? But we seem to kind of have this preoccupation with self-actualization. Now, maybe I am superimposing my own biases and my own tendencies in other people, but I do think in the Western world, this idea of progress and becoming a better person, becoming a, not just a better person, though, I want to say, it's more like a more advanced version of yourself, if you will. So it's this idea of accomplishing more, becoming a person who can do more than what you can do now, right? Now, I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, I think in general it's fine. Uh, but what is interesting, though, is I just got to thinking about this last night as my wife and I were talking. And I was like, does the Bible really, like, do the writers in the Bible really push this idea of self improvement, if you will? Or, like, not just self improvement in the general becoming more holy, but in the sense of like being more and doing more, right? So, like, you know, being everything you were created to be, you know, sort of this uh, idea of achieving personal greatness, right? Whatever that looks like for you. And and I was thinking, Paul did talk some about, he used the metaphor of a race, and you know, I think it might have been him that said, being zealous for good works, or maybe it was Peter. I'm not sure, but there was this idea of zeal and running a race and things like that. So you could say there was maybe some of that in Paul's writing. When it came though to what Jesus talks about, I couldn't off the bat recall a lot about Jesus, like the idea of becoming a better person. Um, I don't know, like becoming a better version of yourself. I don't know if that's really in Jesus' teachings. Um, Jesus is really big on obedience, so very with some pretty practical stuff, like forgive the people in your life and be a person who loves people, and obedience, love and faith being defined as the primary elements of obedience, I think are kind of how I would, in short, summarize the teachings of Jesus in terms of like what he wants from us. But when it comes to being all that you can be, achieving greatness, going for the more, I don't know that it's really there. Like, and if you know that it's there and you can point me to it, by all means leave a comment below. So it's interesting, I don't know that if and it's like I said, I don't have a major problem with it in and of itself, but I think sometimes we can end up kind of pressuring each other to like, you need to like achieve greatness, when it's like maybe you don't need to achieve greatness. Actually, maybe you could be a completely ordinary person, and right now maybe you could remain a completely ordinary person, and maybe it doesn't even matter. you know so not really what the self-help gurus tell you. I think, I say all of us here again, my personal bias, I think all of us like to see progress in our lives. So we like to have something aspirational to move towards and to make progress towards a worthy goal. Um, so I don't begrudge that at all. I think it's great. It's, personally, I think how I'm wired. But it's interesting to consider whether our preoccupation with uh, fulfilling our destiny and and becoming great, whether we whether we've kind of taken what in the extreme would be an ego journey, kind of tamped it down a little bit, slapped on some religious terms, and kind of use it as motivation. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts?